I mean, basically, all people like Mick Lynch are saying is, we're not going to take this. We're not going to line up politely, bend over and take one up the arse for Boris Johnson. We're not going to do it. Greetings and welcome. Now, I want to get this out of the way straight away before I start the video. Is this really Boris Johnson's mother-in-law? I've done a short video at the weekend where I put a clip of one of the audience members from Question Time on Thursday, and loads of comments said that this is Boris Johnson's mother-in-law, Kerry Johnson's mother. Really? I mean, I'd love to know, is there actually any concrete evidence that this is her? Or is it just the fact that she looked like her? And she does look like her. I mean, I don't know how much you can trust a quick Google search on Kerry Johnson's mum, but this is the image that comes up. And they do look alike. But is that the only evidence? Is there any other evidence for it? Because, I don't know. I mean, nothing surprises me with Boris Johnson now, but they really stoop that low to get your mother-in-law on the show to try and promote how good a job you're doing. God, it's like your mum coming into your workplace or when you're at school going, oh, don't be mean to Boris, he's doing the best he can. Imagine your mum coming in to your boss at work and going, oh, don't be mean to him, he's trying his best. I mean, this is the equivalent. I can't see it. But if anyone knows of any concrete evidence of whether this is her or not, please put it in the comments. I'd love to know. If you didn't see my short video at the weekend, go check it out. And it kind of brings me on to, I'll put a link in at the end of the video, it'll pop up at the end of the video. It brings me on to today's topic, really, which is the strikes. Everyone's so divided on this, aren't they? I'd love to know whether it's the same with you guys, with your circle of friends or people that you spoke to. The country's very divided on this issue. Some people are for the strikers, some people are against. I mean, I kind of get it if you've got a dog in the fight and you're going to work on a train every single day and you're having to get free buses, a kayak, and it's happened down the Thames. I saw a guy get a kayak to work. Fucking brilliant. But yeah, I can see how your sympathy can dwindle. Let me just get past this cyclist there. Yeah, I can see how your sympathy can dwindle if you're having an absolute nightmare getting to work. Even myself, I'm a little bit concerned. I've got a holiday in August and I'm flying with BA and they're supposed to be striking in August. And I was thinking, oh, fuck, shit. But then I have to tell myself, you know, there's more important things at play. These workers feeding their families is more important than my holiday going smoothly. So, but anyway, a lot of division on that fact, but there's a lot of division on the economics of it as well. And I've never portrayed myself as some kind of expert in economics, far from it. I find the stuff very confusing, but with all subjects that I find confusing, I try to sort of just limit it down to its most basic form. And the argument is, isn't it, if you bring workers' wages up, then all that happen is just the price of food and the price of everything will go up. You know, that's the basic fear if we start bringing wages up. And you know, I'd understand that fear if we had a government that were fair on taxation. If we had a government that right now, with the cost of living crisis, we're thinking, right, okay, let's start raising tax on VAT on luxury goods, and you know, more tax on mansion and high price property sales and all these sort of things, and then lowering the tax on food and essential items and energy costs. You know, if we had a government that was doing that, I'd understand the fear of bringing the wages up. I think, you know, maybe that might be not such a good idea. But when we've got the government that we have right now that is doing absolutely bugger all for the workers in this country and will not do anything for them, we can't just bend over and be shafted by them. I mean, basically, all people like Mick Lynch are saying is, we're not going to take this. We're not going to line up politely, bend over and take one up the arse for Boris Johnson. We're not going to do it because you're not doing anything for us. And it's a protest. It's a protest as much as it is a strike for all workers. We can't take this anymore. We can't. You have to be fairer on taxation. A lot of arguments I hear as well. I've seen it so many times. It's so ridiculous. Oh yeah, it's all right for this lot that can strike, but not everyone can strike. I don't get this silly argument. I mean, in my head, I start thinking, well, what? If you were in a Auschwitz concentration camp and there was a group of people that could escape, would you deny them that escape because you can't yourself? It just makes no sense at all. It's stupid. Absolutely stupid. And like I say, these strikes are just as much a protest to the government as much as they are staff working for better rights and pay. And that's the thing that it comes down. It's not just pay, is it? It's the redundancies was the big one. No, you know, they want to stop redundancies because, well, I'll show a clip. This is what the government are saying. What they, I'll play the clip.
50,000 rail workers went on strike, bringing large chunks of the network to a standstill. Boris Johnson upped the rhetoric, telling the cabinet the whole rail industry could go bust if it doesn't make giant efficiency savings.
We need, I'm afraid, everybody, and I say this to the country as a whole, we need to get ready to stay the course. To stay the course, because these reforms, these improvements in the way we run our railways are in the interest of the travelling public. If we don't do this, these great companies, this great industry will face further financial pressure. It will go bust.
So this is what the government are saying. They want to move with the times. They want more technology coming into the railways, which means more automation and possibly less jobs for workers. And this is such a big topic because this takes this strike up to a massive topic that affects the whole world at the moment. Is more automation coming into the workplace, less physical work for human beings to do. And if it's done right, and if it's done with a more socially minded government, it's a great thing. But if this is brought in by a Tory government, it's going to be just like it was in the 1980s with the miners. Because that's the thing, you go back to the 80s with the miners, and I think we can all say that, yes, coal needs to be phased out and, you know, mining needed to go. But the thing is, if you suddenly make 2 million people redundant without any safety net for them, without any jobs for them to go into, it's going to cause chaos. And that's exactly what Margaret Thatcher done. I mean, what did Maggie Thatcher want them to do? She was like, oh, well, you know, they should all become entrepreneurs, shouldn't they? That's all right. Fucking idiot. And exactly the same thing is coming in now. We're at a crux now in the workplace, and COVID has accelerated this. I think the last 2 years of COVID has accelerated this problem in the workplace with automation by about 10 years. The workforce are now finding out different ways to make money. They're finding out that, you know what, I'm not doing 40 hours a week, 9 to 5, well, not even 9 to 5, 9 to 6, 9 to 8. I'm grueling jobs. I'm fed up with it. I want alternatives. I want different ways of working. And, you know, a lot of people are finding out that they can get revenue from a few different little places. They don't need to have one solid 9 to 8, 40 hours a week job. They can have a little job here, a little job on the side. And the workforce is completely changing. And this is a good thing. Done right, this is a great thing for working people. Because what it comes down to is we're seeing it across all different sectors of the workplace with more automation coming into the workplace. I guess the first example of this was supermarkets, wasn't it? When you started getting the self-service checkouts. You remember Tesco's 20 years ago, you just had about 50 till operators, and now you have about 2, and it's all automated. You know, that's the clearest example of automation coming into the workplace, but it's coming into all different sectors. And you have 2 choices, really, as a government. You kind of go the capitalist route on this or the socialist route on this. So the capitalist one would be, well, companies are going to make vast amounts of revenue from this because they don't have to pay workers, so they're going to be getting a lot more profits, and they should keep those profits. That's the capitalist way. But the socialist way would be, well, all these companies are making so much more millions of pounds worth of revenue now, maybe they should put that back into the workforce. So workers are having to work less, so maybe let's pay them what we were paying them to work 40 hours, but then let them only work 20 hours. Big business are still overwhelmingly making lots of money, tons of money, the same as they were before, but they're just now going to pay their workers more for less. And We ain't gonna get that with a Tory government. We're really not. So we need to kick these arseholes out. But what do you guys think? Am I talking shit? I do talk shit a lot, but I think this is a really important time right now for the workforce, and we're going to see some massive things over this year with workers, striking and not taking it anymore. And that's what it comes down to. We can't just stand by and just take it up the arse for Boris Johnson. It doesn't matter if you can't strike in your workplace. You need to support the strikers and support the fact that they're fighting for everyone's rights. As a worker in this country, we're not going to stand and take being shafted by this government. The workplace is changing, and it's changing massively, and it needs to be fairer on everyone. And if it's done right, it's going to be such a great thing. We shouldn't fear AI and automation in the workplace. We should embrace it. We should be looking forward to the fact that in the future we can work less, we can have more time with our families. If you don't have families, you'll have more time to develop new skills, learn a new language if you're only working 20 hours a week. This is an exciting time, but we need to get the right government in to make sure it's implemented properly. And it just so happens, whenever we've had a big change like this, with the change of the workplace in the 80s with the miners and all different strikes that were going on there, and we had a Tory government then, and now we've got a bloody Tory government now in one of the most important times of the workplace. Let's kick these arseholes out. It's happening though. It started in Wakefield, good old Wakefield, good old Tiverton and Toffland. You're waking up, people. Lib Dems, Labour in Wakefield. Excellent stuff. The tactical voting is going to play such a massive role in the next election. Give me your thoughts, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts on automation in the workplace and whether things are going to change massively over the next year. Thank you for all your likes, all your subscribes. If you want to support the channel, I have a thanks button down below. I really appreciate it. And till next time, take care.